BMW had unveiled a visual concept of what BMW iNext is going to look like. It's supposed to be a rival for the Model 3. For the Tesla Model 3, though, it looks a little bit more like compact SUV, so maybe this is more of a Model Y rival. We'll talk about that. And literally about an hour before I went on the air, Rich Rebuilds, one of the largest Tesla-related YouTubers, had kind of broke a story that I haven't heard of before, and I don't see it on Electric and so forth. It should have been the leading story, except for all of my graphics were already set, so please stay tuned for that one. And also an interesting tweet from Elon Musk about superchargers. We're going to talk about it all coming up next. If you're watching me on Patreon Live, thank you so much for supporting the show. If you want to support the show and make sure it stays independent, please go to patreon.com/E4Electric. If you're watching me on replay on YouTube, of course, thank you so much for joining me there as well. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss anything moving forward. Also, just want to let you know that I have an exciting guest tomorrow, Steve Burns, who is on Saturday, Steve Burns, the CEO of Workhorse. We're going to talk about their electric truck with an extender, but nevertheless, the only electric powered pickup truck. Then a week after that, we're going to talk with Michael Perschke, the CEO of Automobili Pininfarina. He'll tell us about the very first Pininfarina car that they're unveiling this year. And Chad Bolch is going to be here from Chevrolet. We'll talk about Chevy Bolt and other interesting projects that Chevy is working on. So I'm very excited about all of this stuff. So hope you stay tuned. All right, let's talk about BMW and iNext. This is, originally was announced as an arrival for the Tesla Model 3, but it's supposed to have like 465 mile range and everything. I think that's all just doesn't really matter. It's going to go in production in 2021, so a lot of things can change by then. But as you can see, it does look more like a compact SUV, so I really don't know. They're going to give us more details. They say they're going to unveil a vision vehicle later this year. I don't really know what that means. That's what their press release says, and a lot of people are trying to figure out what does that mean. Is it going to be the same car or different car? Now, I myself am going to go, actually my flight is in the next few hours. I'm going to go to the BMW i8 Roadster event in Great Britain. I'm going to bring some footage for you guys. I'm going to talk to some of the people at BMW and talk about the electrifying their fleet. This is a plug-in hybrid, though a lot of people don't really consider it to be really an electric car, though. I'm going to talk to some of the reservation holders, because that's the event for them, and see what they think, and if they want bigger range, what do they like and don't like about the car, and if they want this whole electrification to continue to happen at BMW. So I'm really excited about that. I will post a video about it once I'm back on Sunday. It'll take a few days to edit, but I'm really excited about that. And of course, tomorrow's video is going to be pre-recorded since I will be in London. Before I move on to the next story, please remember that this channel and this show is sponsored by iNext, the aftermarket accessories for your Tesla. There is a discount code in the description of this video, just in case if you want to save a few bucks while you're shopping there. You're more than welcome to do that. All right, so I covered this yesterday. Elon Musk had been pretty upset about the media covering the story like this one about the Model S crash. It kind of crashed into a parked fire truck, and this is like a second time in the last year at like 60 miles an hour. Now the person walked away with pretty much no major injuries, just a broken ankle, and that's actually pretty good news. But the media is covering this a lot because it is Autopilot. I already mentioned it yesterday. Hey, listen, new technology, people are going to cover it. Crashes do get covered. The local news all the time. Just turn your TV on, you'll see that. But this is new technology, so it's worth covering. Now, there are some logs that have been released from the driver. I mean, it looks like the driver was not paying any attention whatsoever, had multiple warnings to put the hands on the wheel, and only did so just to shut it up, basically. And I think for the last minute or so, the driver wasn't paying attention at all and only applied the brake literally like a fraction of a second, as they say, before the crash. Now, I'm still on the side of people who are saying, listen, that's all good. We totally understand that this is the driver's fault, but why didn't the car attempt to stop as it saw itself basically crashing into a stationary object. Some people say, well, it's not meant to do that. Well, then I say, well, let's get on that, because kind of that feature I need way more than keeping myself in the lane. So I kind of want to know what you guys think about it. Definitely leave me a comment in the comment section. But I'm going to go ahead and say that this is something that needs to be figured out sooner or later, not just for Tesla, for all cars. And, you know, speaking of, and also NHTSA is going to investigate this, but I think they're only going to investigate the data, not really Tesla in particular, so that's fine. Now, which brings me to this very interesting video which just came out, and this is like, this should be the front page story. I don't know if Electra is going to publish it or whatever, but if you don't know who this guy is, this is Rich Rebuilds. The channel, it's Rich from Rich Rebuilds YouTube channel. Now one of the largest Tesla-related YouTubers, actually, and he was a guest on my show, so full disclosure, a few weeks ago, and we're doing another collaboration with him in an upcoming couple of weeks. But he basically covered the story where I guess one of his friends who had a salvage Tesla came to the Tesla dealership because there was a airbag recall, and Tesla refused to change that airbag and honor the recall because the car was basically salvage. Now, we've heard about the stories before, and mainly from Rich. Unfortunately, he's the only one talking about it. But I guess that video got pretty popular on the internet. It got to NHTSA, I believe, and they kind of forced Tesla to go ahead and do this. And I guess later on, he got a hold of an internal memo where Tesla now instructed their service centers to actually go ahead and honor that recall, no matter what condition the car is, unless it poses a safety issue to the Tesla staff. So I'm going to link to this video in this description. I want you guys to watch it in its entirety, only 3 or 4 minutes. But this is, you know, this is the time, you know, Elon Musk can complain all the time about bad media coverage, but this is something that is not covered, and he probably should be very thankful for that, because this is way bad, you know, worse story, I would say, than the last crash. So thank you to Rich for covering this. Once again, please check out this video. And one last thing that I wanted to mention, there's a tweet from Elon Musk about Tesla Superchargers. Now, he was replying to one of the customers, which he does regularly, and he says that there are thousands of Supercharger locations. I thought he meant maybe like stalls. He said locations going through permitting and construction, including the area where the customer was kind of complaining about not having a Supercharger. And Elon Musk said that the Tesla will publish on the updated map in the next few days. Now, this is a little bit surprising because don't forget, there's about what, 1,300 superchargers around the world right now, and I think total about 7,500 stalls. So is he saying they're going to like triple or quadruple number of superchargers in the next even a year? That would be amazing. But I mean, I don't know how long it takes from the, like, getting a permit to all the way completing it, but I can't imagine more than a year. So this could be like major news. I'm not really sure if he misspoke. Maybe he meant thousands of stalls, though that would still be pretty impressive. So definitely something to keep our eyes on, because this is definitely going to take Tesla even further in what maybe Elon Musk doesn't believe this, but I believe that this is the most important feature that separates Tesla from its competition. So I think this is definitely a big deal. All right, guys, just like I mentioned, I am flying out to the UK to cover the BMW i Roadster event. I will bring that footage to you, of course, as soon as I can, hopefully within a week. Pre-recorded videos, the interview of the CEO of Workhorse on Saturday, and on Sunday I'm actually going to post an interview that was taken of me by a British podcaster. So that's kind of pretty cool. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, I will see you guys next week, and remember to stay charged.